had the words arranged so many times in different orders on different days. I'd practice them while walking to the corner and lost them all in your particular gaze. The words would line up neatly in the morning and scatter by the time you came in view. I told myself that I would say them surely when the right moment finally appeared. But every moment came and went without them, and every May arrived and disappeared. The words grew heavier the longer carried, until they were too heavy left to say. The unspoken love, it blooms in May again. The unspoken love, the oldest kind of pain. Not sharp, just present, like a stone I carry, that I have grown too used to for the weight. If I had said it once, just once out clearly, the unspoken love might not have been my fate. You moved away the autumn after college and sent a card at Christmas for a while. I heard you found someone and I was happy, and learned to mean it slowly with some style. The unspoken love still blooms in May for me. The unspoken love, the way it used to be. Not grief exactly, more like an old garden where something beautiful grew wild and hardened into just a memory of what could bloom. The unspoken love still filling up the room. You dared me first, I have to say that clearly. It was your idea to take our shoes off there. The grass had only just come in that morning, and everything was cool and green and rare. I pulled my socks off, standing on the path and stepped down with one foot into the lawn. The cold came up through both my feet at once, a clean and living cold, unlike the floor. Each blade of grass was thin and individually felt like nothing I had ever felt before. You were already walking through the middle and laughing at the face I must have made. Barefoot on new grass, cold and green and true. Barefoot on new grass, walking there with you. The whole world narrowed down to what my feet could feel. Each step a small discovery, each blade a new reveal. Some pleasures are as simple as the ground. Barefoot on new grass, the sweetest thing I've found. We walked the whole length of the garden twice before the cold became too much to bear. Then dried our feet on the old towel by the door and carried all that green inside with us from there. Barefoot on new grass, I still feel it now. Barefoot on new grass, I still wonder how something so completely ordinary could stay so clear inside my memory. The cold, the green, the May, your laugh beside me. Barefoot on new grass, still walking there inside me. Everyone has always said my name the same flat syllables in the same order. But you had found a way of saying it that crossed some kind of ordinary border. A small pause at the start, a slight descent, as if my name meant something that you meant. I'd hear it from across the room sometimes, and know before I turned that it was you. No one else has ever found that frequency that made my name sound like it could be true. never told you what it did to me. The simple sound of you just saying me. When you said my name, I heard it differently. When you said my name, it meant something to me. Not the name my mother gave me at the start, but something closer to the middle of my heart. All these years and other voices saying it. When you said my name, that's all I wanted yet. I've listened for that sound in other places, in other mouths and other times of year. But names are shaped by who is doing saying, and yours was the only voice I wanted near. When you said my name, the air would change a bit. When you said my name, I'd always remember it. May comes around and brings your voice to me, the way you'd call across the garden free. All these years and other voices saying it. When you said my name, that's all I needed yet. The teacher's voice was droning on about the war, and I was only half pretending to take notes. When something touched my hand beside the desk, a small square of paper folded into boats. I kept my eyes ahead and took it slowly and slipped it underneath my open book. I waited till she turned back to the blackboard, then smoothed it open with the greatest care. For words in your uneven, careful handwriting that made me forget everything was there. The chalk, the clock, the afternoon, the lesson, all of it dissolved into that square. The note you passed me, folded small and neat. The note you passed me, making my heart beat. I must have read it 30 times that afternoon, and every time it felt like something new. Some words are written on much finer paper, but none of them address for weeks until the paper went to soft. And even now I think I know each crease of it. The note you passed me, never to be lost. The note you passed me, I can feel it still. The note you passed me, always, always will. The teacher never knew what crossed the aisle. That afternoon that made me want to smile. Some words are written on much finer paper, but yours were the ones worth keeping for a while.
I'd passed the flower shop a dozen times before I finally stopped and went inside. The woman asked me what I had in mind, and I described you badly, but she tried. She wrapped the stems in paper, tied the ribbon, and said that someone would be very pleased. I carried them across the town to yours, rehearsing what I'd say along the way. But every line I'd practiced on the pavement dissolved completely when I reached your gate. I stood there for a moment, just composing, then pressed the bell before I'd think again. The bouquet trembling slightly in my hand. The bouquet, more than I had planned. When you opened up the door and saw the flowers, your face did something that undid the hours of worry that I'd carried all that morning. The bouquet and everything it was warning. You took them and you smiled and said, "Come in." And I was redder than the roses there, but something in the giving and receiving made everything between us light as air. The bouquet, I still feel the paper wrap. The bouquet, still feel the ribbon snap. My face was burning brighter than the blooms as you carried them inside the rooms. But you were smiling that made it worth it. The bouquet, the most important thing I'd done.
We planted bulbs that autumn for the spring, the way that people do who plan to stay, and watch them come up tulips in the April, and didn't think a thing of it that May. We went about our ordinary business, not knowing it was all about to end. I've gone back through the details since that summer and tried to find the signs I must have missed. The slightly longer pauses in the evening, the things you almost said and then dismissed. But May was just so perfectly itself that year that nothing in it whispered of goodbye. The last spring together we didn't know. The last spring together watching things grow. If I had known, I would have paid more attention to every ordinary tulips and the coffee and the garden. The last spring together ending far too soon. Came up again the following April, without us there to see them in the ground, and someone else was living in that garden. The last spring together, never to be found. The last spring together, I'd have held on more. The last spring together, known what it was for. Each unremarkable and easy morning, each evening without drama or a warning. I'd have memorized the texture of those days. The last spring together, lost in ordinary ways. drifted to the doorway the way you do when evenings start to cool, and somehow ended up on the front steps without a plan or anything to do. You sat one step below me, facing outward, and I sat looking at the street with you. We talked about the neighbor's new paint color and whether the old maple would survive. We talked about the summer coming slowly and all the small things keeping us alive. But none of it was really what we meant. The real conversation was the time we spent. Love on the porch steps, watching the street go by. Love on the porch steps, underneath the May sky. You could have gone home hours before you did, and I could have gone in, but neither one of us did. The porch steps were the whole world for a while. Love on the porch steps, mile after mile. When you finally stood to go, the stars were out, and neither of us mentioned what we'd found. That sitting on those steps was its own language, that neither of us needed to expound. Love on the porch steps, the last thing you said. Love on the porch steps, still ringing in my head. The screen door and the moth against the light, the May air soft and warm and almost right. You could have stayed forever and I'd stay. Love on the porch steps, the best of May. The wisteria had come in heavy that year, the whole lane draped in curtains of pale purple. We'd walked that way 100 times before, but that day something broke the usual circle. You slowed your pace, and I slowed mine to match, and something in the air began to catch. You stopped beneath the oldest of the arches, where the blooms hung thickest overhead. petals drifted down around your shoulders, and you looked at me and finally said the words I hadn't known I'd been expecting, until they landed softly in the lane. Wisteria Lane, purple in the May. Wisteria Lane, where you had your say. The blossoms falling gently as you spoke, and something in my quiet life awoke. I hadn't known how much I'd wanted hearing. Wisteria Lane, and what you said while standing there. I said yes with my whole heart without rehearsing. The answer had been ready all along. The wisteria bore witness to the moment and wrapped us in its purple and its song. Wisteria Lane, I walk it every May. Wisteria Lane, to hear you say it again. The blooms come back the same as they have always, and I come back the same as I have always, to stand beneath the arch where it began. Wisteria Lane, the most important lane.
I'd gotten used to not expecting you, the way you train yourself to stop the habit of looking up each time a door swings open, of checking every corner for your jacket. A year had done its work on me quite well, or so I thought until that afternoon. You were standing at the corner by the market, the same coat, the same way of holding your bag, the same angle of your head in conversation. My whole year's work undone in half a second. I stood there on the pavement like a question that hadn't been prepared to hear the answer. The return in May, you hadn't changed at all. The return in May, I felt the old walls fall. I built them carefully across the winter and all the months that followed after. There you were in all your May familiarity, the return in May, returning me to me. You saw me then and raised your hand to wave, as if a year were nothing much to cross. I raised mine back and tried to look like someone who hadn't spent that year accounting for the loss. The return in May, I still feel the street. The return in May, the pavement at my feet, the way the world went briefly out of focus and then came back with you inside the picture. A year of careful work undone in seconds. The return in May, and everything it reckoned.
Carried both cups out and set them down on the old iron table by the roses. The steam rose up and disappeared in May air before either of us had struck our poses. We sat across from each other in the morning and let the garden do the talking for a while. A robin came and went along the border. The coffee cooled to just the right degree. Both hands around your cup and watched me, and I was watching something in the tree. We didn't need to fill the time with planning. We had enough, and just the two of us. 2 cups in the garden, May morning light. 2 cups in the garden, everything just right. The ordinary magic of a Tuesday, when nothing special happens and it's perfect. The steam, the robin, your hands around the cup. 2 cups in the garden, never giving up. had 1,000 mornings since that garden, and some of them have been beautiful and fine, but none of them have had that quality of stillness that came from your cup sitting next to mine. 2 cups in the garden, I'd give anything. 2 cups in the garden for that morning, to sit across from you in the Maylight and have nowhere to be, and all the time right, the ordinary magic of a Tuesday. 2 cups in the garden, the best of all my days. We'd heard that bell 10,000 times before and never paid it any kind of mind. But something in the air that final Friday made everyone slow down and look behind. The lockers and the hallway and the windows, we all felt it without saying so. We poured out through the doors into the May and stood there blinking in the afternoon. Some people laughed and some were strangely quiet, and all of us knew it was over soon. The chapter we had lived inside for years was closing in the sound of that last bell, the last school bell ringing down the hall, the last school bell, the end of it all. Not the end of everything, we knew that much, but the end of this particular kind of us, the version of ourselves that lived inside those walls. The last school bell, the last of all the calls. We scattered into summer and then further, and some of us came back and some did not. But every May I hear that bell still ringing across whatever life I finally got. The last school bell, I still hear it clear. The last last school bell across so many years. The May light on the pavement as we left, the faces of the people I have kept inside the part of me that hasn't changed. The last school bell, the sweetest and most strange.
We climbed up through the long grass after lunch and found the flat part just below the crest, where you could see the whole town laid out small, and neither of us felt the need to rest. We sat down side by side without discussion and looked at everything below us there. The church, the school, the road that ran between them, the tiny cars, the rooftops in the sun. You pointed out the house where you had grown up, and I found mine a little further on. We sat there in the May without a schedule and let the afternoon do what it would. The couple on the hill, looking at the town, the couple on the hill, the world spread out and down. We didn't need to fill the silence up with words. The only conversation was the birds. Some afternoons are perfect without reason. Couple on the hill in the May season. We must have stayed up there for 2 full hours before the evening air began to cool, and neither of us mentioned going down until the lights came on below the hill. The couple on the hill, I see us still. The couple on the hill, I always will. The town below us going on its way, while we sat still inside that perfect May. Some afternoons are perfect without reason. The couple on the hill in the finest season.
was turning past the 20th, and something in the air began to shift. The evenings came a little sooner every day, and I could feel the seasons start to drift. I held your hand a little tighter walking home, as if the pressure could keep me from going. You noticed I could tell you didn't say a word. Just let me hold on harder than before. The roses on the corner had begun to drop their petals on the warm and dusty floor. I counted all the May days we had left and tried to make each one worth keeping more. Holding on to May, holding on to you, holding on to May the way I always do. When something beautiful is almost at its end, I press my fingers tighter around the bend. But May will go the way that May always goes, holding on to May and watching as it flows. June came anyway, the way it always does, and you went with it, gentle as the rain. I let the last day go with open hands and waited for another May again. Holding on to May, I still feel my hand holding on to May the way you'd understand. The tighter that I held, the more it slipped, like water through the fingers May has dipped. Below the horizon every single year, holding on to May and holding on to here. We set the table up beside the sidewalk with a cardboard sign that took us half the morning. The pitcher was too full and kept on sloshing, and neither of us heeded any warning. We'd squeeze the lemons till our hands were stinging and added twice the sugar that we should. The first few customers were mostly neighbors who paid more than we asked and said it's good. behind our table very proudly and counted up our coins in the May sun. The afternoon stretched out like it was endless, and none of us were ready to be done. Lemonade stand, sweet and sour and true. Lemonade stand, me and all of you. The coins we counted out on the old towel, the picture in the May heat by the hour. We thought that we were running something real. Lemonade stand, and that's exactly how it feels. Sold the whole picture's worth and split the money equally between us. We packed the table up and went inside and felt like we had done something that meant us. Lemonade stand, the best of what we made. Lemonade stand in the afternoon shade. Not the money and not the lemonade, but the afternoon itself before it fades. The May sun and the sidewalk and the sign. Lemonade stand when everything was fine.
She brought it out from somewhere in the closet, that wide-brimmed straw hat from the summer before, and put it on without a second mirror, and came out to the garden by the door. The sun was high and she was squinting into it, until the hat brim settled on her brow. She turned to me, and something in the angle of the light and hat brim on her face made her look like something from a painting that I was lucky just to share the space. She caught me looking and she smiled that sideways, the one she used when she knew what I thought. Straw hat season starting up again. Straw hat season, the warmest of all, when she'd pull it from the shelf and set it on her head and squint into the sun like something said. The summer was beginning and she knew it. Straw hat season and everything that's true in it. I've kept that hat, though she has long since left it. It hangs beside the door in the back hall. And every May, when the sun gets high enough, I take it down and feel the summer call. Straw hat season, I still see her there. Straw hat season, the sun in her hair, the squint, the smile, the brim against the light that made the whole late May feel exactly right. The summer was beginning and she wore it. Straw hat season, and I'll always store it.
I had the words arranged so many times in different orders on different days. I'd practice them while walking to the corner and lost them all in your particular gaze. The words would line up neatly in the morning and scatter by the time you came in view. I told myself that I would say them surely when the right moment finally appeared. But every moment came and went without them, and every May arrived and disappeared. The words grew heavier the longer carried, until they were too heavy left to say. The unspoken love, it blooms in May again. The unspoken love, the oldest kind of pain. Not sharp, just present, like a stone I carry, that I have grown too used to for the weight. If I had said it once, just once out clearly, the unspoken love might not have been my fate. You moved away the autumn after college and sent a card at Christmas for a while. I heard you found someone and I was happy, and learned to mean it slowly with some style. The unspoken love still blooms in May for me. The unspoken love, the way it used to be. Not grief exactly, more like an old garden where something beautiful grew wild and hardened into just a memory of what could bloom. The unspoken love still filling up the room. You dared me first, I have to say that clearly. It was your idea to take our shoes off there. The grass had only just come in that morning, and everything was cool and green and rare. I pulled my socks off, standing on the pathway, and stepped down with one foot into the lawn. The cold came up through both my feet at once, a clean and living cold, unlike the floor. Each blade of grass was thin and individually felt like nothing I had ever felt before. You were already walking through the middle and laughing at the face I must have made. Barefoot on new grass, cold and green and true. Barefoot on new grass, walking there with you. The whole world narrowed down to what my feet could feel. Each step a small discovery, each blade a new reveal. Some pleasures are as simple as the ground. Barefoot on new grass, the sweetest thing I found. We walked the whole length of the garden twice before the cold became too much to bear. Then dried our feet on the old towel by the door and carried all that green inside with us from there. Barefoot on new grass, I still feel it now. Barefoot on new grass, I still wonder how something so completely ordinary could stay so clear inside my memory. The cold, the green, the May, your laugh beside me. Barefoot on new grass, still walking there inside me. Everyone has always said my name the same flat syllables in the same order. But you had found a way of saying it that crossed some kind of ordinary border. A small pause at the start, a slight descent, as if my name meant something that you meant. I'd hear it from across the room sometimes, and know before I turned that it was you. No one else has ever found that frequency that made my name sound like it could be true. I never told you what it did to me, the simple sound of you just saying me. When you said my name, I heard it differently. When you said my name, it meant something to me. Not the name my mother gave me at the start, but something closer to the middle of my heart. All these years and other voices saying it. When you said my name, that's all I wanted yet. I've listened for that sound in other places, in other mouths and other times of year. But names are shaped by who is doing saying, and yours was the only voice I wanted near. When you said my name, the air would change a bit. When you said my name, I'd always remember it. May comes around and brings your voice to me, the way you'd call across the garden free. All these years and other voices saying it. When you said my name, that's all I needed yet. The teacher's voice was droning on about the war, and I was only half pretending to take notes. When something touched my hand beside the desk, a small square of paper folded into boats. I kept my eyes ahead and took it slowly and slipped it underneath my open book. I waited till she turned back to the blackboard and smoothed it open with the greatest care. For words in your uneven, careful handwriting that made me forget everything was there. The chalk, the clock, the afternoon, the lesson, all of it dissolved into that square. The note you passed me, folded small and neat. The note you passed me, making my heart beat. I must have read it 30 times that afternoon, and every time it felt like something new. Some words are written on much finer paper, but none of them have ever come as true. I kept it in the pocket of my school dress for weeks until the paper went to soft. And even now I think I know each crease of it. The note you passed me, never to be lost. The note you passed me, I can feel it still. The note you passed me, always, always will. The teacher never knew what crossed the aisle. That afternoon that made me want to smile. Some words are written on much finer paper, but yours were the ones worth keeping for a while.
I'd passed the flower shop a dozen times before I finally stopped and went inside. The woman asked me what I had in mind, and I described you badly, but she tried. She wrapped the stems in paper, tied the ribbon, and said that someone would be very pleased. I carried them across the town to yours, rehearsing what I'd say along the way. But every line I'd practiced on the pavement dissolved completely when I reached your gate. I stood there for a moment, just composing, then pressed the bell before I'd think again. The bouquet trembling slightly in my hand. The bouquet, more than I had planned. When you opened up the door and saw the flowers, your face did something that undid the hours of worry that I'd carried all that morning. The bouquet and everything it was warning. Took them and you smiled and said, "Come in." And I was redder than the roses there, but something in the giving and receiving made everything between us light as air. The bouquet, I still feel the paper wrap. The bouquet, still feel the ribbon snap. My face was burning brighter than the blooms as you carried them inside the rooms. But you were smiling, and that made it worth it. The bouquet, the most important thing I'd done.
We planted bulbs that autumn for the spring, the way that people do who plan to stay, and watch them come up tulips in the April, and didn't think a thing of it that May. We went about our ordinary business, not knowing it was all about to end. I've gone back through the details since that summer and tried to find the signs I must have missed. The slightly longer pauses in the evening, the things you almost said and then dismissed. But May was just so perfectly itself that year that nothing in it whispered of goodbye. The last spring together we didn't know. The last spring together watching things grow. If I had known, I would have paid more attention to every ordinary tulips and the coffee and the garden. The last spring together ending far too soon. them in the ground, and someone else was living in that garden. The last spring together, never to be found. The last spring together, I'd have held on more. The last spring together, known what it was for. Each unremarkable and easy morning, each evening without drama or a warning. I'd have memorized the texture of those days. The last spring together, lost in ordinary ways. We'd been inside, but drifted to the doorway, the way you do when evenings start to cool, and somehow ended up on the front steps without a plan or anything to do. You sat one step below me, facing outward, and I sat looking at the street with you. We talked about the neighbor's new paint color, and whether the old maple would survive. We talked about the summer coming slowly, and all the small things keeping us alive. But none of it was really what we meant. The real conversation was the time we spent. Love on the porch steps, watching the street go by. Love on the porch steps, underneath the May sky. You could have gone home hours before you did, and I could have gone in, but neither one of us did. The porch steps were the whole world for a while. Love on the porch steps, mile after mile. When you finally stood to go, the stars were out, and neither of us mentioned what we'd found. That sitting on those steps was its own language, that neither of us needed to expound. Love on the porch steps, the last thing you said. Love on the porch steps, still ringing in my head. The screen door and the moth against the light, the May air soft and warm and almost right. You could have stayed forever and I'd stay. Love on the porch steps, the best of May. The wisteria had come in heavy that year. The whole lane draped in curtains of pale purple. We'd walked that way 100 times before, but that day something broke the usual circle. You slowed your pace, and I slowed mine to match. And something in the air began to catch. You stopped beneath the oldest of the arches, where the blooms hung thickest overhead. Petals drifted down around your shoulders, and you looked at me and finally said the words I hadn't known I'd been expecting, until they landed softly in the lane. Wisteria Lane, purple in the May. Wisteria Lane, where you had your say. The blossoms falling gently as you spoke, and something in my quiet life awoke. I hadn't known how much I'd wanted hearing. Wisteria Lane, and what you said while standing there. I said yes with my whole heart without rehearsing. The answer had been ready all along. The wisteria bore witness to the moment and wrapped us in its purple and its song. Wisteria Lane, I walk it every May. Wisteria Lane, to hear you say it again. The blooms come back the same as they have always, and I come back the same as I have always, to stand beneath the arch where it began. Wisteria Lane, the most important lane.
I'd gotten used to not expecting you, the way you train yourself to stop the habit of looking up each time a door swings open, of checking every corner for your jacket. A year had done its work on me quite well, or so I thought until that afternoon. You were standing at the corner by the market, the same coat, the same way of holding your bag, the same angle of your head in conversation. My whole year's work undone in half a second. I stood there on the pavement like a question that hadn't been prepared to hear the answer. The return in May, you hadn't changed at all. The return in May, I felt the old walls fall. I built them carefully across the winter and all the months that followed after. But there you were in all your May familiarity, the return in May, returning me to me. You saw me then and raised your hand to wave, as if a year were nothing much to cross. I raised mine back and tried to look like someone who hadn't spent that year accounting for the loss. The return in May, I still feel the street. The return in May, the pavement at my feet, the way the world went briefly out of focus and then came back with you inside the picture. A year of careful work undone in seconds. The return in May and everything it reckoned.
Carried both cups out and set them down on the old iron table by the roses. The steam rose up and disappeared in May air before either of us had struck our poses. We sat across from each other in the morning and let the garden do the talking for a while. A robin came and went along the border. The coffee cooled to to just the right degree. You wrapped both hands around your cup and watched me, and I was watching something in the tree. We didn't need to fill the time with planning. We had enough, and just the two of us. 2 cups in the garden, May morning light. 2 cups in the garden, everything just right. The ordinary magic of a Tuesday, when nothing special happens and it's perfect. The steam, the robin, your hands around the cup. 2 cups in the garden, never giving up. I've had 1,000 mornings since that garden, and some of them have been beautiful and fine, but none of them have had that quality of stillness that came from your cup sitting next to mine. 2 cups in the garden, I'd give anything. 2 cups in the garden for that morning, to sit across from you in the May light and have nowhere to be, and all the time right. The ordinary magic of a Tuesday. 2 cups in the garden, the best of all my days. We'd heard that bell 10,000 times before and never paid it any kind of mind. But something in the air that final Friday made everyone slow down and look behind. The lockers and the hallway and the windows, we all felt it without saying so. We poured out through the doors into the May and stood there blinking in the afternoon. Some people laughed and some were strangely quiet, and all of us knew it was over soon. The chapter we had lived inside for years was closing in. The sound of that last bell last school bell ringing down the hall. The last school bell, the end of it all. Not the end of everything, we knew that much, but the end of this particular kind of us. The version of ourselves that lived inside those walls. The last school bell, the last of all the calls. We scattered into summer and then further, and some of us came back and some did not. But every May I hear that bell still ringing across whatever life I finally got. The last school bell, I still hear it clear. The last school bell, across so many years. The May light on the pavement as we left, the faces of the people I have kept inside the part of me that hasn't changed. The last school bell, the sweetest and most strange.
We climbed up through the long grass after lunch and found the flat part just below the crest, where you could see the whole town laid out small, and neither of us felt the need to rest. We sat down side by side without discussion and looked at everything below us there. The church, the school, the road that ran between them, the tiny cars, the rooftops in the sun. You pointed out the house where you had grown up, and I found mine a little further on. We sat there in the May without a schedule and let the afternoon do what it would. The couple on the hill, looking at the town, the couple on the hill, the world spread out and down. We didn't need to fill the silence up with words. The only conversation was the birds. Some afternoons are perfect without reason. The couple on the hill in the May season. must have stayed up there for 2 full hours before the evening air began to cool, and neither of us mentioned going down until the lights came on below the hill. The couple on the hill, I see us still. The couple on the hill, I always will. The town below us going on its way, while we sat still inside that perfect May. Some afternoons are perfect without reason. The couple on the hill in the finest season.
The calendar was turning past the 20th, and something in the air began to shift. The evenings came a little sooner every day, and I could feel the seasons start to drift. I held your hand a little tighter walking home, as if the pressure could keep me from going. You noticed I could tell you didn't say a word. Just let me hold on harder than before. The roses on the corner had begun to drop their petals on the warm and dusty floor. I counted all the May days we had left and tried to make each one worth keeping more. Holding on to May, holding on to you, holding on to May the way I always do. When something beautiful is almost at its end, I press my fingers tighter around the bend. But May will go the way that May always goes, holding on to May and watching as it flows. June came anyway, the way it always does, and you went with it, gentle as the rain. I let the last day go with open hands and waited for another May again. Holding on to May, I still feel my hand holding on to me the way you'd understand. The tighter that I held, the more it slipped, like water through the fingers May has dipped. Below the horizon every single year, holding on to May and holding on to here. We set the table up beside the sidewalk with a cardboard sign that took us half the morning. The pitcher was too full and kept on sloshing, and neither of us heeded any warning. We'd squeeze the lemons till our hands were stinging and added twice the sugar that we should. The first few customers were mostly neighbors who paid more than we asked and said it's good. We sat behind our table very proudly and counted up our coins in the May sun. The afternoon stretched out like it was endless, and none of us were ready to be done. Lemonade stand, sweet and sour and true. Lemonade stand, me and all of you. The coins we counted out on the old towel, the pitcher in the May heat by the hour. We thought that we were running something real. Lemonade stand, and that's exactly how it feels. By evening we had sold the whole pitcher's worth and split the money equally between us. We packed the table up and went inside and felt like we had done something that meant us. Lemonade stand, the best of what we made. Lemonade stand in the afternoon shade. Not the money and not the lemonade, but the afternoon itself before it fades. The May sun and the sidewalk and the sign. Lemonade stand when everything was fine.
She brought it out from somewhere in the closet, that wide-brimmed straw hat from the summer before. put it on without a second mirror and came out to the garden by the door. The sun was high and she was squinting into it until the hat brim settled on her brow. She turned to me and something in the angle of the light and hat brim on her face made her look like something from a painting that I was lucky just to share the space. She caught me looking and she smiled that sideways, the one she used when she knew what I thought. Straw hat season starting up again. Straw hat season, the warmest of all, when she'd pull it from the shelf and set it on her head and squint into the sun like something said. The summer was beginning and she knew it. Straw hat season and everything that's true in it. I've kept that hat, though she has long since left it. It hangs beside the door in the back hall. And every May, when the sun gets high enough, I take it down and feel the summer call. Straw hat season, I still see her there. Straw hat season, the sun in her hair, the squint, the smile, the brim against the light that made the whole late May feel exactly right. The summer was beginning and she